Hey, Master Coach G here on Thriving After 50, Mind, Body, Soul. And in this week's episode, I am talking about one of my favorite subjects is physical activity. I am continuing the series on 6 principles to better health and wellness. The first episode, we talked about mindset and how important it is and the role that it plays in us staying healthy. The second week, last week, I talked about habits and how we don't dictate our future, but our habits dictate our future. This week, what I'm talking about is physical activity and the benefits of it. I think that once we understand how important physical activity is to our lives, I think we may have a mindset shift. Being physically active affects so many things. It definitely allows you to be able to manage your weight, but it also helps you with brain health, and it reduces the risk of diseases, which, I am sharing my story, a part of my story, in reference to me being at risk for all these diseases. And physical activity is really what saved my life. So in this week's episode, I am sharing information on how to become more active. That's the goal here, is to help us to understand. And it doesn't take much. I'm sharing a minimum of 150 minutes a week. So yeah, I'm going to come up with a plan, going to give you a plan so that you can execute this and that you can get started with some type of physical activity. This is Master Coach G, Thriving After 50, Mind, Body, Soul. I look forward to seeing you on the next level. Good day. This is Master Coach G here on Thriving After 50, Mind, Body, Soul. Welcome to this week's episode. I am going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects today, continuing the conversation about the 6 principles to better health and wellness. This is one of my favorites. We talked about mindset. We talked about habits. So what I want to talk about today is physical activity. Like I said, it is one of my favorite things. I was always active. Growing up, I grew up with all boys. I was the only girl, pretty much even in the neighborhood. So it was either football, basketball, baseball, some kind of sport. It was never let's play house or tea party or, mommy, daddy. It was never that kind of thing. It was always the majority rule. So since they were all boys and they wanted to play sports, that's what I did. So I was always physically active. And I think that is part of the reason why I am as healthy as I am. I thank God for that. But I do find that people that are active tend to live longer and are not at risk for a lot of the diseases that people are living with today. So today's episode is definitely going to be about the benefit of physical activity. Regular physical activity is definitely one of the best things that you can do for your health. Being physically active, it definitely improves your brain health, number one. Because that affects our mindset. So our brain health, it helps to manage our weight. Now, here is the one thing that I definitely want to focus on, is that it reduce our risk of diseases. It reduced the risk of high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high A1C, diabetes, obesity. Physical activity strengthens our bones and our muscles, and it just improves our overall ability to be able to do everyday activities, like getting out the bed without pain, joint pain or arthritis. Being active gives us the ability to be able to move around on a day-to-day basis with limited amount of pain. That is one of the great things about being physically active. Now, a lot of people are physically active because they do want to lose weight. And yes, it is definitely a good weight management, being physically active. I personally myself lost, L-O-S-T, over 100 pounds being physically active. I walked off 117 pounds. Yes, walked off 117 pounds. So you can start with something as light as walking. But if you like swimming, if you like jogging, if you like Zumba, if you like dance, if you like yard work, any of those things would be great for physical activity. The goal is to achieve at least a minimum of 150 minutes of activity a week. So that's about 30 minutes a day. And if you can do that 5 days a week, that would be great. That would be absolutely awesome. Again, the benefit of physical activity is helping you to reduce the risk of diseases. That is one of the main things. Okay, let's look at cardiovascular, which is one of the leading causes of, we got heart attacks, heart disease, and strokes are the two leading causes of death in the United States. So that's why getting 150 minutes a week moderate physical activity can lower your risk of these diseases. Now, if you know that walking 30 minutes a day is going to lower your risk of a heart attack or a stroke, wouldn't you do it? I mean, doesn't that make sense? That if you can walk 30 minutes a day to reduce the risk of a heart attack or stroke, of course you would. So when I say to people 30 minutes a day, it's like, oh my God, I can't do that. I just don't have the time. Well, do you have time for a heart attack? Do you have time for a stroke? So take the time to walk 30 minutes a day. Here's a very simple solution to getting in 30 minutes a day. I want you to walk outside your door. You can walk left, right, straight ahead, any direction. And walk for 15 minutes. And then turn around and walk back to where you started at. You just walked 30 minutes. And anybody can do that. Anybody can walk out their door and walk 15 minutes in any direction and come back. And you just walk 30 minutes. You can do that every day, 5 days a week, to reduce the risk of a heart attack and a stroke. Of course you can do that. And you're also reducing the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. You're reducing the risk of having your HDL cholesterol being high. You know what I'm saying? So why not put in the effort for some physical activity that is going to reduce the risk of developing type 2 diabetes or developing heart disease or having a stroke? It just makes sense, right? Okay, so in addition to reducing your risk for heart attack and stroke or developing type 2 diabetes, in addition to that, you can also reduce the risk of developing some cancers, some common cancers at that, like bladder cancer, breast cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, lung cancer, stomach cancer. You can reduce the risk of developing those cancers through physical activity. Now, why wouldn't you want to reduce your risk of cancer? With 30 minutes of physical activity, 30 minutes a day. That's it. See, here's the thing about exercising and getting physical activity in is that as we get older, this is thriving after 50. So most of the people that are listening to this are after 50, but what we have to understand, are over 50, excuse me. What we have to understand is that the older we get, the weaker our bones get, the weaker our muscles get. So in order to keep our muscles and our bones strong, that's where physical activity come in at. Because as you age, it's important to protect your bones. It's important to protect your joints and your muscles. It's important because that's what gives us the ability to be able to have mobility. Our muscles and our bones give us the ability to have mobility. So that's why we have to continue to move. If we keep moving, here's what can happen. It can reduce the risk of joint pain also. So yes, daily activity gives us the opportunity to reduce joint pain. That's why when most people have arthritis, which thank God I don't, because of the physical activity that I do on a daily basis. I am in the gym 5 days a week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is my day off. I'm back in there on Thursdays and Fridays. You know why? Because I want to keep my bones strong and I want to keep my muscles strong, so that I can continue to do what I'm doing. I love the lifestyle that I have with the mobility. I am able to move around. I'm able to get out there and, I can still shoot hoops. I can still play baseball. I can still play soccer. I can still do those things. Even though I am 66, I can still do them without the pain or, having to grab my knee because it's hurting. So physical activity helps you to keep moving. That's why we need to do physical activity on a daily basis. And here's the other thing. It helps to prevent you from falling. And as we get older, if our bones aren't strong, we could either fracture them or break them. And that's not good because it takes longer for your body to heal. So nope, you do not want to fall. So being physically active helps you prevent from falling. So let's say that you don't want to get out and walk. Okay, well, if you have stairs in your house, then you can climb some stairs. Do that for 10, 15 minutes a day. But this allows you to be able to get out and do things that you want to do. And when I talk about quality of life, for me, I'm just going to talk about me. For quality of life, this is important for me. My mother is 86, going to be 87 in June. And I look at her and I say, in 20 years, that's going to be me. But do I want to be on a walker? Nope. Do I want my husband to push me around in a wheelchair at 86? Nope. So in order for me to maintain a good quality of life, I have to be active. I cannot sit around here and do absolutely nothing and think I'm going to maintain good quality of life. It's not going to happen. And furthermore, even more importantly, I don't want to have to deal with chronic diseases, period. I don't. I want to extend my quality of life. My grandfather, my mother's father, lived to be 109. Okay? Just saying. 109. And let me tell you why. Because he was physically active all of his life. The man was a carpenter. He built a 6-bedroom house that I was born and raised in, a six-bedroom brick home that I was raised in. And he built that home from the ground up. So he was always active every day of his life. He took well over 10,000 steps a day. Well over. And once you hit the age of 50, 60 plus, you should be getting anywhere from 8 to 10,000 steps a day. He got in well over 10,000 steps a day, up and down ladders, reaching and pulling and just all kinds of physical activity throughout the day, building homes. That's what he did. So yes, he lived to be 109 and was in great shape. He had the muscle tone, even at 109, he had the muscle tone of a 60-year-old man. And you know why? Because he was active all the days of his life. He didn't have no chronic diseases. He didn't have high blood pressure. He didn't have high A1C. He didn't have diabetes. He had none of that. Wasn't on any prescribed medication at 109. So yes, I came from good genes, but he had to do something in order to be able to maintain that lifestyle. And what he did was he was physically active. And I want to be able to do the same thing. I don't want to live with diabetes. I refuse. Absolutely refuse. And when I was diagnosed with diabetes and high blood pressure and high cholesterol, yes, I had it all. I had it all. I had acid reflux so bad I couldn't even lay down and sleep. I was 237 pounds. My life was at risk. I was at risk for a major, massive heart attack or stroke. And the doctor wanted to put me on medication, and I absolutely refused. I'm like, you know what? That's not going to fix the problem, because for me, I'm about fixing the problem. I'm about getting to the root of the problem and fixing that part of it. Taking the medication wasn't going to fix it for me. I didn't grow up seeing my grandparents taking medication. I saw them home remedies, holistic. Everything was holistic in my life. That's why I'm so big on holistic even right now today, because I understand the importance of it. And it starts with exercising. This is what reduces the risk of these chronic diseases. We do not have to live with that stuff, people. We don't. We don't have to live with type 2 diabetes. We don't have to live with diabetes at all. We don't have to live with severe pain of arthritis. And I'm not saying that we're not going to have it. Yes, when you get older, you start to lose the cushion, I call it, in between your bones, where now you have the bone to bone rubbing together. And I had torn my meniscus over 10 years ago. And the doctor told me then that because number one of my weight, and number two, because my bone to bone, he says, you're going to have a knee replacement. In 5 years, I'll give you at least 5 years, but in 5 years, you're going to have a knee replacement. I am 10 years in. I still haven't had a knee replacement. It's because I go to the gym and I make my bones strong. Now, did I replace what was missing? I'm not saying I replaced it. What I'm saying is exercise is keeping me from having the joint pain. That's what I'm saying. So I don't have the arthritis pain because of the exercise. So you see how it benefits. There is such a great benefit to exercising. So granted, my grandfather lived to be 109. And yes, I came from good genes, but that was because of what he did in order. And then I watched his lifestyle. That's the other thing. No, I watched him be active, which allowed me to be active in my life. That's the reason why, I was grateful that I grew up with all boys and that I didn't kind of sit around and be girly. There was a benefit in that for me, and it also allowed me to be active in athletics. I was a cheerleader in high school. I ran track. I played softball, so it was a great benefit. Watching my grandfather be active all of his life. It allowed me to be active all of my life. And now I'm passing that on. My daughter is in the gym. My grandson is in the gym. So we're three generations deep, into this thing, physical fitness, physical activity, because we understand the power of it. And I'm thankful that I got a hold of this before it was too late. I see people coming in the gym and they've had strokes and they're on walkers, and they can barely walk. And I say to myself, God, I thank you for not allowing me to go to that place, and that I caught it before it was too late, because some things are irreversible. Some things are irreversible. I had a cousin who's 80, I think she's 82 now, maybe 83. A couple of years ago, she had a stroke, and she had a stroke in her sleep. She wasn't even aware that she even had a stroke. She woke up, went throughout the whole entire day, and she kept saying, oh, my arm just feels so funny. It was like numb, and she didn't understand what it was. She said, I better go get it checked out. Went to the doctor and found out that she had a massive stroke in her sleep. Now, let me tell you what saved her from having paralysis. The reason why she is not, limited to being able to do what she's done all her life. The reason why she's not limited to that is because my cousin went to the gym 3 days a week, even at 80 something. She still was at the gym, and the doctor told her, if it was not for you going to the gym, you would see and feel the effects of having the stroke. You look at her, you can't even tell she had a stroke. There's no signs of having a stroke at all. But that's due to her being physically active for all those years. And now she's still going to the gym 3 days a week. So there is a lot of good A lot of benefit in going to getting in some steps every day, especially past 60. Now, if you can get in anywhere between 6 to 10,000 steps a day, 5 days a week, you will definitely see a difference in your health. I can guarantee you that. That's a guarantee. And I know that there's not much that you can guarantee in life, but what I can guarantee you, if you are consistent with walking at least 5 days a week minimum for 30 minutes a day, I can guarantee you in 90 days, not only will you see a difference in your body, but in your sleep pattern, in your eating patterns, in your drinking the water patterns, in your clothes. You're going to see a difference. And when you go to the doctor after 90 days, he's going to see a difference, or she's going to see a difference in your numbers as well. Your cholesterol numbers are going to be lowered. Your A1C numbers are going to be lowered. Your blood pressure numbers are going to be lowered. All that is going to change. So that's why physical activity is so important, because it allows you to manage these things, these chronic diseases that we do not have to live with, people. We don't have to live with them. We don't. What we have to do, though, is become physically active. Because what happens is when we become physically active, the people around us will become physically active. Our loved ones will become. I'm telling you, I've seen it myself. I went to the gym. My daughter started going to the gym. My grandson started coming to the gym with me. So I said, you got to be up and out the door by 4:30 a.m. if you're coming with me, boo. But guess what? He got up. He got with it. He's been going to the gym ever since. And he's 20 years old. And if he continues on this path at 20, he is going to be remarkably healthy when he gets to be my age. So that's the key right there. So listen, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it has added some value to your life. And remember that knowledge applied is power. This is Master Coach G. I'll see you on the next level. Hey, I just want to thank you for joining me here on Thriving After 50, Mind, Body, Soul. If you were able to glean some nuggets from this episode, become a subscriber, and every time that I drop something, you will receive a notification. Oh, please like it, please share it, so that someone else will be able to glean and receive some information that will also help them to improve their health and their quality of life. I appreciate you. Thank you. Coach G here, and I'll see you on the next level.